Oh, man, you hit start. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood. My name is Alex. This is Papa Blood, and we are going to pick every game of NFL Week 2. Last week, I went 11-5. This guy went 12-4, so we did all right for the madness of Week 1, and so I'm excited to be back here to try it again, see if we can do any better.
Thank you for tuning in to Blood, Sweat, and Sports.
Yes, thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Join our pick'ems in the link below in the description if you would like to. It's all for free. What do you say we hop right into this week's picks?
I am so excited to go. Let's do it.
All right, starting off on Thursday Night Football, the Bills head to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Both teams starting their season off 1-0. Both teams showing a little bit of struggle, more so with Miami. They get to host their first divisional game of the year. How you feeling about this one?
I really feel that Buffalo on the road with this team is going to be a challenge. They may prove me wrong. I felt like they struggled at home against an Arizona team that they should beat handily. And I felt that a lot of pressure was put on Josh Allen to do so. I like the ability of Miami to go over the top with the weak safeties in Buffalo. Give me the Fins at home.
Yeah, so historically between the Josh Allen and Tua historically said that so many times. The Bills have been very dominant against the Dolphins. I've got plenty of reason to believe that the Bills could win this game. It is a divisional matchup. They were able to move the ball a little better this past week, yada, yada, yada. But I'm with you. The Bills' defense gave up a lot of points to the Cardinals, and I think the Dolphins have a lot more offense in them. And I do think they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back from their performance in Week 1. So I'm also going to take the Dolphins to get their first win over the Bills in a minute on Thursday Night Football.
You went away from history.
I did go away from history. I can't always use history. Do I think the Bills might win this game? Absolutely. They have proven time and time again they can beat this Dolphins team. And every time they meet, they're kind of a different team, and it's always been the same result. But something is just telling me the Dolphins are about to bounce back in a big way. They did get the win, but it was not very convincing against that Jaguars team. Give me the Dolphins start 2-0. Baby. Moving on to our first game on Sunday, an AFC matchup. Both teams coming off of a loss. We've got the Raiders heading over to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. I'm going to go ahead and go first. Historically, the Raiders have only ever won one time in Baltimore against the Ravens. I don't see them doing it this week. I think both of these teams kind of have a bad taste in their mouth after Week 1, but I think the bounce back might be a little bit stronger for the Ravens. They've got a little bit of aggression to take out of, and I feel like the Raiders are going to receive a lot of that. I do feel like this game will be a little bit closer than people would think it is, though, for no reason other than chaos.
Yeah, I think the Ravens played really well in Kansas City. They looked ready to go this season. They looked ready to tackle. They had a tough loss out there. I'm sure they're going to bounce back. I don't think the Raiders have enough firepower on offense. Nobody to really get Devontae Adams the ball in a big-time way. Give me the Ravens going away.
I will be honest with you, though. I will not be mad if the Raiders decide to mess around and win this game. Because they've got a really great defense, and so to be able to slow down Lamar, slow down the run game, and force them into passing situations could be, different. But the big eyes are on the Raiders' offense, like you mentioned, and so I'm not too sold on them just yet. They've got a lot of good pieces, and I do have faith in Gardner Minshew, but I just don't know because the Ravens' defense is also really good.
Feels like a Derrick Henry type of day.
It should be. Moving on to the next, we've got another AFC West team who did come off of a win. The Chargers heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers, who undoubtedly had the worst loss in Week 1.
Yeah, I look for the Panthers to respond at home. I think under the new coach and new regime, I think they've got a fairly decent squad that just hasn't had enough time to come together yet. I look for them to be competitive, but I still look for the Chargers to get the win. I don't think Harbaugh is going to give up a win if he gets a lead in that game, and I think they'll hold it.
You already know. If you go back to our preseason predictions and we talked about the Panthers and, I told you what I thought about them, how they were going to get some big wins against teams they're not supposed to win against. I will probably eat my words for this. This was one of the teams that I picked before the season started that the Panthers were going to get a win that they probably shouldn't win against. I'm going to stick to it, not because I think there's anything wrong with the Chargers. They put up 22 points at home versus the Raiders last week. Now they're going on the road. The Panthers gave up 47. Bryce Young looked bad. They're going to have some sort of a bounce back. They will be in their home stadium. There might be 30 people in the crowd. I think there is a good potential for an upset. Do I think the Chargers win? Probably, but something telling me that I got to stick to it, and this will be my one crazy pick of the week, but give me the Panthers at home to have a good bounce back. They might not win for another few weeks, so this one could be a really good momentum shifter in their season if they're able to get it done.
Good luck.
Thanks. I'm not scared of taking an L here and there. I never have been. I never will be. So give me the Panthers and let us move on to the next one. Talking about the Panthers last week, the Saints putting up 47 points, heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, who had a very convincing win over the Cleveland Browns. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, Dallas's defense is going to be a lot more formidable than the Panthers. I do not see Derek Carr putting up 40-some points against the Big D. I do see Dallas getting the win here, but I think this is going to be much closer. It feels like a 30-24 type of game, but I like Dallas at home for sure.
I think the fact that their win was as big as it was last week is going to help the Saints in this one have confidence, because going into Dallas is literally not easy for anybody. It's except for maybe the 49ers. Going down to Dallas, which isn't that far from home for them, it's not going to be an easy game for them. We obviously saw what Dallas is capable of defensively this past week against the Browns. Yeah, Deshaun Watson is not putting up old Deshaun Watson type plays, but the lack of run game, they were unable to run the ball, they were unable to throw the ball. I think the Saints have a bit more of an edge here because they do have a formidable run game. And if they can get that going early, they do have a chance for an upset. I'm going to stick with the home team here. I'm going to pull a pop of blood and take them because they're at home. If the Cowboys were going to New Orleans this weekend, I might lean towards the upset. But I'm going to be rooting for the Saints just to do it. But moving on to the next one. This game might be the best 1 o'clock game of the week. We've got the Buccaneers heading up north to take on the Lions, both coming off of really good wins.
This one really had my brain in shambles because I really feel like these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I feel like they both have positives and negatives on the defensive side. I'm going to just stick with the home team here and go with the Kitties. I do like Jared Goff. I love the way that they played the Rams this last week. I do like Tampa Bay. I like Baker Mayfield. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I just feel like the Lions have an edge. I feel like they're one step above a lot of teams this year. Give me the Kitties at home.
So the last time the Bucs and Lions played each other was either this past season. I think it was this past season, and I remember it being an absolute shootout. I feel like both teams put up somewhere in the 30s, and it came down to the wire. And that's literally in my brain how I see this playing out as well. I think in this situation, I was going to take whoever the home team was because I'm not too sure. Yeah, the Bucs went up against a rookie quarterback and a relatively young defense in the Commanders, It was still a convincing win. 37 points is a lot. The Lions just took the Rams into overtime, but they looked unstoppable at the end of that game. I don't know if the Bucs defense can hold their run game all for 4 quarters. And so
Yeah,
that's why I'm leaning towards the Lions because they're at home. If they were in Tampa Bay, I might feel differently.
yeah, and the last time that they played, you were close. It was the divisional round in the playoffs. The Lions, the first 2 weeks of the season, played their first 2 playoff opponents from last year. 31-23 was the score.
I think they played in the regular season last year too, though. I think that could be the best game of the morning. I'm happy with whoever wins that game. Moving on to the next, probably the actual game that we might end up getting if it's not the Ravens versus Raiders. We've got the Indianapolis Colts heading to Green Bay to take on the Malik Willis-led Green Bay Packers. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I don't trust Malik Willis. This all feels like a good opportunity for the Colts to bounce back from their loss last week and get a win here. This is no shade to the Packers, but they're not going to be at 100% until they get their quarterback back. And so give me the Colts on the road. I do feel like Green Bay can sneak a win at home here.
Yeah, it's going to be about game plan. It's going to be about preparation. They've got to find a way for Malik Willis to be effective, and I don't necessarily see it being with him throwing the ball, heavily leaning on the run game, some opportunistic play on defense. That is what the Packers are looking for. I think Anthony Richardson takes another step forward and give me the Colts on the road. If Jordan Love was there, I would be going the other way for sure.
If Jordan Love was playing, I would think I would have much more confidence in the Packers. And, there's still like 30% of me that thinks the Packers can sneak a win here.
I feel like all I feel like, though, is that if Indianapolis can get a lead in this game, it's going to be very difficult for
them to play from behind. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. Moving on to the next, though, this has got to be like probably my worst game of the week. I don't know. It could be good, but I just don't see it happening. We've got Cleveland heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. Both teams 0-1. Cowboys got their ass kicked because Deshaun Watson sucks, and they don't have any running backs without Nick Chubb. And Jacksonville choked away a win against the Dolphins.
Yeah, really fun looking game, honestly. Not really. But what we did see, though, is we seen Jacksonville go on the road into hostile Miami and put a game almost away. Minus, like I said earlier, the fumble by ETN changed the dynamic of that game, and Miami came back. I feel like Jacksonville will get the win on the road for the exact reason, at home for the exact reason that you stated. Cleveland without Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson doesn't have as much of an opportunity to be effective. I'll take the Jags. Give me Trevor Lawrence at home.
I tried to give the Browns some props last week. I tried really hard to buy into the fact that they could still make it work because they played a lot of their season last year without Nick Chubb and still won a lot of football games. That was without Deshaun Watson too, and that was with Joe Flacco, and I guess I should have just learned my lesson. Deshaun is clearly not the player he used to be. I think they look a little bit better here than they did against the Cowboys, but I am going to give Jacksonville the win at home. I feel a little safer about that because, like you said, they went into Miami, which was just a short drive for them, but still, and they took them to the wire. And that's one of the most high-powering offenses in football, and they held them to only 20.
Yep.
They held them to 17 until the last 3 seconds of the game. I think they can get it done this week.
Heck yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next, we got San Francisco coming off a big win over the Aaron Rodgers Jets on Monday Night Football, heading to Minnesota to take on him, Sam Darnold, and the Minnesota Vikings, coming off a big win, which was over the Giants. Both teams spent last week beating up on the Jersey teams. After seeing the performance against the Jets defense that the Niners did, not only their receiving game, but more so eyes on Mason, their running back, who will probably be their number one back again this week. Getting it done like that, I just feel I can't bet against the Niners till they let me down.
Do I think the Vikings will be pretty formidable at home? I think the purple in gold is going to show up in forces. I think that's going to be a very hostile environment. Justin Jefferson got the huge contract. Sam Darnold going against the team he played for just last year. But I think that's going to be his Achilles heel in this game. Kyle Shanahan got a chance to learn every bit of the quirks on Sam Darnold's game, and he will have that defense ready. Not that I don't think they can win the game. I just think that San Fran's defense is going to do a much better job against Sam Darnold than Brian Daboll's New York Giants. I too take the 49ers on the road.
Moving on to probably the hardest game, the 1 o'clock game for me to make a decision on. We've got Seattle heading to New England. Both teams coming off of a win, and I'll go ahead and go to take on the Patriots, who just got a win over the Bengals. Very ugly affair, 16-10. And the Seahawks battled it out with the Broncos. Very close game as well. I went back and forth. Do I pick the Patriots? I could, yeah. They're tough at home no matter what, defensively. But if I pick the Patriots, I feel like they're going to let me down. But if I pick the Seahawks, I feel like the Patriots are going to make me mad and win that game. I just went, who's got the better offense? Seattle. So I'm going to take Seattle because I think they'll be able to score at least 3 more points than the Patriots.
Definitely have a lot of respect for that. Geno has the weapons. I still think Geno Smith is a serviceable starter. He is, in my mind, like a top tier backup. He can get it done as a starter. He's gotten paid. Jacoby Brissett, I feel like, is this exact same guy. I feel like he's a guy that can go out and manage a game and not put your team in a horrible position. I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots at home. I think they're going to feed Ramondre Stevenson just like they did against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense played pretty well against them, and they still managed to control the game. Bengals didn't play great, but the Patriots might be a big part of that. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance and take New England at home.
I'm okay if I lose this one because I had such a hard time making a decision. Moving on to the next one, we've got the 0-1 Jets heading to Tennessee to take on the 0-1 Titans. Let me go first. The Jets are not as bad as they looked against the Niners. It's not their fault. They had to play the toughest NFC team in week 1. They will bounce back. Will Levis, I'm still mad about Chicago. I won't let it go. This is me holding a grudge. Give me the Jets on the road.
I agree. I'm going to take the Jets as well. I think Breece Hall factors into this a lot. Tennessee has a pretty good defense, but they just don't have the competency at the quarterback position. Will Levis has got to develop. It may happen over time, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen early in the season. I'm comfortable taking the Jets on the road.
I hope Tony Pollard has a good game, but the rest of them, I could care less.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, okay, I like Tyler Boyd too, but it's going to take me a while to get over Tennessee versus Chicago.
Yeah, the look on your face is priceless.
So give me the Jets by 30, dude. I don't know.
Let's go.
I hope Will Levis throws another pick six too.
Underhanded
pick six to Sauce Gardner. Moving on to our final 1 o'clock game. I'm probably going to catch a little heat for this one, but we've got the Giants taking on the Commanders. Historically, the Giants just own the Commanders, but gave me Offensive Rookie of the Year to get his first dub in his NFL career. Jaden Daniels going to get the win. I don't trust Daniel Jones. Jaden Daniels, my boy. This game's going to be stupid. It's going to be the most stupid game of the week, but it'll probably be good. It'll probably be good kind of stupid. So give me the Commanders at home to defeat Daniel Jones and one more step for the Giants fans to get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm with you. Love Jaden Daniels. I agree. OROY for sure. He's our preseason pick for that. So we're going to ride high with that. Dan Quinn and this team, they're coming along. I think going to Tampa Bay week 1 was a big challenge. They probably knew they weren't going to get the win. They were competitive. They found some good things in Jaden Daniels' game. They're going to take what they learned from that and apply it to this Giants team whose offense is very lackluster. No real spark plug in the running game. Not like Saquon, in my opinion. Danny Dimes does not look like he's better from his injury. He doesn't look like he's in his best year for him. I just don't see any reason to take the Giants at all. Give me the Comanches at home. I hate agreeing with you all the time.
I'm not that bad, okay? All right, moving on to our first 4 o'clock game of the week 2 slate. I kind of had a stutter for a moment because I forgot what I was going to say. We've got a NFC West divisional matchup. We've got the LA Rams coming off a tough loss against the Lions, heading to Arizona to take on the 0-1 Cardinals, coming off a tough loss against the Buffalo Bills.
I don't want to do this at all.
I mean, I can tell you my thought process first.
I just don't want to make the pick. I love the Rams. I'm a big homer for the Rams, and right now they're hurting. Puka Nacua went on IR. They've got a couple guys on the offensive line missing. They are beaten up. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals looked a lot better. Early on, I would not have done it this way, but I'm going to lean towards the home team, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Cardinals. I just feel like the Rams are a little beaten up to win that game. I hope Matthew Stafford proves me wrong and wills them to victory. As of today, as of right now, that's who I'm taking.
Listen, if this game being played was in LA and not in Arizona, I would have agreed with you for whatever reason. My logic is a little twisted, but over the last couple of years, I feel like the Cardinals have been better on the road than they have been at home, all up putting up 28 points in Buffalo. I went back and forth on this one. I debated it long and hard, and when I made my preseason predictions, I had these two splitting the series, but I had them each stealing wins on the road. So I'm going to follow through with that just because I saw how the Cardinals played on the road, so it makes me feel like I'm still on the same path with them, that they might not play as tough at home. I think they're going to have a good crowd showing for this matchup. Debuting Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray back healthy. So I feel like they're going to have a good crowd on their side. But I'm going to take the Rams, even beaten up a little bit, to steal one. I understand why you took the Cardinals, though, because I almost did. If the injuries didn't happen, there would have been no debate for me. Talking about splitting, we'll move on to the next one, game of the week. We've got your Cincinnati Bengals heading to Arrowhead to take on my Super Bowl champion 1-0 Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to throw shade at you because you're not who I'm ever mad at, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Will the Bengals come in here and give us hell and leave? Absolutely. Will they get a win? There's a 50-50 chance. I feel like equally it goes both ways. Historically, we're not so great against you guys, and especially in the regular season. So, yes, I'm nervous about it, but no, I'm not going to pick the Bengals to beat my team. Do I think the Bengals look better than they did last week against the Patriots? Do I think they put up more than 10 points? Oh, I do. I think this is still going to be a close ball game. The point spread in the game is 5.5. I understand they looked rough last week, but I don't think 5.5 is fair to Cincinnati. I would say like 3. Knowing how these two teams battle each other, give me the Chiefs in a close one.
Yeah, you could have left that really quick. Cincinnati has a lot to overcome here. Abysmal performance at home in front of your home people. Roster issues, stars not playing because of hamstrings. I don't want to ever pick against my team, but if I had a day that I was going to, it would be this one. But I'm not going to do it begrudgingly. I'm going to take my Bengals on the road just because I think they're going to
It's
be
the right
hungry
thing to do.
for a win. But do I think they're going to get it? They haven't shown me anything so far this year that proves that they're going to win the game. If you go into Kansas City and lose by 30, you deserve it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right now. If your Bengals get the dub, I'm proud of them because they look like
Yeah.
bad last week. Moving on to the next, we've got another AFC North, AFC West matchup. We've got the Steelers coming off a win over Kirk Cousins' Falcons, heading to the Broncos, who lost against the Seahawks.
Russell Wilson gets to go back to his former, very short-lived home
And
and just
gets to ride the bench.
watch Justin Fields play against the Broncos. Pittsburgh has an amazing defense. It clicks on all 3 levels. They rush the pass, they stop the run, and they defend. They defend in the secondary very well. Denver defends very well. If either one of these teams had more on offense, the defenses would be that much better. I hate myself more than you will ever know for saying this, but I feel like Justin Fields has the advantage in this game, being a mobile quarterback. He's got a couple really nice tight ends. I'm going to take Pittsburgh on the road.
Yeah, you put a little switch up on me. I was not ready. I was fully ready to yell at you. This is just a really strange game for me because growing up with you being my father, I've hated the Steelers for longer than I've ever known, but I hate the Broncos so much, and they have my boy held hostage, and so I'm in a weird place with that too. But yeah, I thought we were gonna disagree here, so the speech I had is no longer valid. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Steelers on the road too. I think Pittsburgh's defense up against a rookie quarterback spells nightmare. And no offense to Bo Nix, I don't hate that guy. It's not his fault he got drafted there. And so, but I feel like TJ Watt smells rookie quarterbacks like sharks smell blood and water. And it's going to be a long day for him. Moving on to Sunday Night Football. This one just makes my stomach hurt too. That we have to watch it on prime time, but it could potentially be a good matchup. We've got the Chicago Bears, undeservingly 1-0, heading to Houston to take on the Texans.
First of all, this should not be a primetime game. This should have
It's
been a 1
because it's
o'clock.
Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud. I understand.
Caleb Williams going to Houston is not going to be fun. Houston's D-line is pretty tough. Caleb's decision-making was not great in the opener. They won that game despite him. I think that if Houston spreads the ball around like CJ Stroud did last week, I don't think there's any defending that. Houston at home seems like a very good pick here. I don't even know why we're having the conversation. Chicago gets their first loss of the season. I don't even think this one will be close. I think Houston will win by 10.
I just do I think this Bears defense can slow down the Texans offense? I do. But let's think about what happened last week with the Tennessee and Chicago game. I hate that we have to keep circling back to it, but this is very relevant to my argument. The offense was unable to put it in the end zone at all. The whole game. I know they scored 24 points, but they're not going to get two defense special teams touchdowns against the Texans. It's just not going to happen. Will they kick field goals? Sure, but 4 field goals, 12 points is not going to be enough to beat the Houston Texans. If they can't muster up offense, they don't have a chance because even when Houston's defense slacks a little bit, CJ Stroud can still put up 30 points, and I just don't think offensively the Bears can compete with that. It is prime time, so we're going to see some dumb stuff happen, and I'm sure Caleb Williams is going to get his first NFL touchdown in this game. I don't think they can score 24 points again, and I think that they're going to need 24 points to even be competitive in this one.
I agree.
And our last game of the week, Monday Night Football, we get the Falcons heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. This is the Eagles' technically second home game, but their first game was played in Brazil.
Brazil.
I got a weird feeling about this game. I feel like it's going to be ugly. Kirk on prime time. He's recently gotten a primetime win, so maybe he's over that hump. But defensively, both these teams are really good. I feel like it's very possible for this to be an extremely low-scoring affair. I don't know how I feel about it because something was off about Philly against Green Bay, but also the Falcons haven't got right yet, and I don't know if this is the game for them to get right on the road in Philadelphia. So I'm just going to take a safe bet and take the home team here.
Yeah, if we would have been preseason before, I would have probably been leaning much more towards the Falcons in this game. I honestly thought Kirk Cousins was going to be more ready to play when he got back than he is. I don't see that now. I see that a formidable defense, which the Eagles do have a good defense. They attack the quarterback and the run very well. And I think that he's going to need Bijan to run the ball to give him.
Bijan.
I got to take the Eagles at home as well. Although
it's an upset I'd like.
I had the Falcons starting the season 2-0, but now I can't pick them that way.
As much as I didn't like picking some of these games, I feel like we got a really good slate in week 2.
Nah, I feel dirty.
I feel dirty. It's probably because you got to play my team this week, and that always just leaves a weird aura.
I just feel dirty.
But there's a lot I didn't like. But I feel like there's
Pittsburgh and Denver. Getting ready to start week 2. We got our picks video is completed here. We have to get that out.
Upcoming schedule, Thursday. Papa Blood will be flying solo, taking on the Bills versus Dolphins. Maybe you guys can check out Pizzle's channel, our boy, our local Fins fan on YouTube. Show him some love as well. Friday and Saturday, we have no plans. We will be in here for our teams duking it out at 4:25. Sunday Night Football, TBD. We'll see how our game goes first and how I'm feeling about it, how he's feeling about it. And then, of course, we'll be in here Monday night. Like I said, anything else that we have, we'll let you guys know. Make sure you get into our CBS Pick'ems. Be sure to like, subscribe, all of that good jazz. You got anything else to add?
I don't like this week's slate of games.
Dude, I love them. I love them and hate them. I love them and hate them.
Let's go.
He said, let's go. And that's where we're going to end this episode of our week 2 picks. We appreciate you guys so much. I'm Alex. This is Papa Blood, where it's in the blood. We love you, and we will see you on the next one.
Right on.
Yeah.